If God finds favor with you, or you find favor with God, he's not only in love with you physically, he knows you're going away. He chooses you, and his covenant is not only with you, but with your offspring, your seed. Do you know that the seed of a prophet is chosen by God, and that seed is to be multiplied? Do you understand that? Why did the prophets have more than one wife? You can't find one prophet in the Bible that only had one wife. And there are even books out today that ask the question, was Jesus married? Because there are hints in the Bible that say that Jesus also was married. Did you know that Jesus had brothers and sisters? Spoken of in the book of Mark. How did he get brothers and sisters? What's that all about? We need to talk about that sometime. How many wives did Prophet Muhammad have? He had 9. Some scholars say he had 11, but God reduced the number to 9. Was Prophet Muhammad an evil man, a wicked man, a low-down man because he had wives? No. And the sad thing about this, Malcolm knew all of this. But as Malcolm grew in strength and power inside the nation, Malcolm attracted the envy and jealousy of many in the nation who were Malcolm's peers. They couldn't stand the fact that Malcolm was always talked about. And the way the press would write Malcolm up, they wrote Malcolm up as though Malcolm was the leader. And if you understand anything about leadership, a wise leader will always try a disciple, especially when the leader knows he's going away and he's going to leave a disciple in his seat. He's got to test that man to see will that man have the character to stand up to the rigors of the mission. You don't know Elijah. That's a very wise man. And any one of us that have ever been around him, he tested us all. Did he test us, Brother Sharif? Did he test us, Brother Emmanuel Muhammad? Did he try us? You would think that that man would sometimes ease up, but the closer you were to him, the more he tried you. And it seemed like the more people admired you, the more he tried you to see whether you would take the admiration and adulation of the people and use it someday against him. So the higher you got, the more your trials became. Isn't that the way it is in karate? When you're moving toward a black belt or a 10th degree or 8th degree or 7th degree, when you get way up, the harder the test gets because you're getting close to becoming a master. And you can't become a master unless you honor and respect the master who is making you a master. Now here I come. Malcolm learned that Elijah Muhammad had wives. He knew it at least a year before he defected from the nation. It hurt Malcolm, not the fact that there were wives, but it was deeper than that. The enmity, the jealousy inside the nation, and seeds being dropped had made Malcolm think that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad himself was jealous of Malcolm. Malcolm would do great things and he wouldn't get no writing in the Muhammad Speak newspaper. He was hurt behind that. Do you understand how when people work hard for a cause and they seem to get dissed by the people they work for, their heart begins to change? He always kept the Honorable Elijah Muhammad above and beyond that. But when Kennedy was assassinated and he made the statement, it was a case of the chickens coming home to roost, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad warned Malcolm, and all of us as his ministers say nothing with respect to the death of the president. Malcolm spoke in New York City. I think it was either the 5th or the 7th of December, 1963. And a man from the New York Times was sitting in the audience. No, I'm sorry. He came to the door and he was put out. And when Malcolm found out that Mr. Handler from the New York Times was sitting in the audience or trying to get in, Malcolm told Yusuf Shah to bring him back. That man sat in the audience. Malcolm obeyed his teacher and got through the lecture, but in a question and answer period, Malcolm said, "I'm never sad when chickens come home to roost. I'm happy when chickens come home to roost." And the next day, in the New York Times and over the news, they played it up that Malcolm was mocking the death of the president. Elijah Muhammad, a wise teacher, silenced Malcolm. Said Malcolm was not speaking for himself or speaking for me. Malcolm was speaking for himself. And I have silenced Malcolm for 90 days. Now, any of you that know organization, I don't care how great you are, there has to be discipline in any organization in order for that organization to be effective. And the greater you are, the more you should be disciplined, because if you start straying away and there's nothing to bring you in line, pretty soon everybody will start messing up. So Malcolm had to be disciplined, but not just disciplined to teach Malcolm a lesson, to save Malcolm's life.